It is the only unsolved airplane hijacking in the whole history of this country. Now, tonight, there are new clues, and this is 52 years after the infamous D.B. Cooper hijacking mystery. Now, I'm going to paint the picture for you, set the scene. It all began on a rainy night in November 1971. A man who identified himself as Dan Cooper boarded a flight from Portland to Seattle. He was wearing a suit and a trench coat, along with a black clip-on tie and sunglasses. Now, a little after takeoff, Cooper ordered a drink and handed a flight attendant a note saying that he had a bomb. Cooper demanded $200,000 in cash and told the pilot to fly to Mexico. Then, the unthinkable. With the cash strapped to his waist, D.B. Cooper parachuted out of the plane and then disappeared. But now, there is new evidence has emerged from cold case investigator Eric Ulis, and he joins me now. Eric, I remember hearing about this story one day from my father, who was telling me about this unsolved mystery and what could have possibly happened. And here we are all these years later, new evidence leading you to focus on a particular person who died last year. His name, Vince Peterson, but I want to be clear, this is 2002. This is actually your theory, and CNN has not reviewed the information independently on this matter, but his daughter has provided you with an envelope, I guess. It has his DNA on it. What's the latest now?
Yeah, basically there was a skinny black clip-on tie that D.B. Cooper left on board the jet. It was retrieved by the authorities. It was analyzed in 1971, but wasn't of much value at that time. Recently, it's been analyzed under a scanning electron microscope, and there are several unique particles, metal particles that were found on the tie that point to a specific company in Pittsburgh, and I think to a specific division within that company. And there is a person of interest, a guy named Vince Peterson, who was a metallurgist there, that I'm particularly interested in, and I am working with his daughter to try to ascertain whether or not this guy was D.B. Cooper, and if he wasn't D.B. Cooper, who was D.B. Cooper?
We've reached out to the FBI and Peterson's family. They have declined to comment. But his daughter, she doesn't believe her father was D.B. Cooper. It's a petition to have the FBI release the files in this case. What has she told you about her father and the kind of person that he was?
Well, she was 6 years old at the time of the skyjacking, again back in 1971. So she remembers her father being a very kind person, and just the kind of person that wouldn't be involved in anything like this. But at the end of the day, there are stories out there of people that pull off crimes or things of this nature, and they manage to get away with it for a couple of reasons. The most prominent of which is people that were around him invariably say there's no way in 1,000 years we would ever believe that this person was involved. At the end of the day, it's simply a matter of appealing to the FBI to get access to that clip-on tie and try to run a DNA test on it. And once we do that, if we're successful in convincing the FBI to give us access to the tie, very briefly, we're talking 10 minutes here, we can determine once and for all whether her father actually was D.B. Cooper. And again, if it wasn't her father, who it was, because at that point we would have a DNA profile to work with using 2024 state-of-the-art technology.
Eric Ulis, you've got to keep us posted. This has always been a very fascinating story as to what happened. Parachuted out of a plane, whoever this D.B. Cooper really was. Thank you so much. And thank
My
you
pleasure.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.